This is Dr. Garrett Castleberry, Associate Professor, Program Director of Communication, Media, and Ethics at Mid-America Christian University. I'm here with a brief introduction to our first guest interviewee for creating social media presence and cultural movements. And it is a guest excited to tell you all about, give you a little bit of information on his professional background so that you can generate those rough draft interview questions. Our interview protocol, primary objective in this strategic interviewing course, creating social media presence. Our first guest is Michael Bergen, and Michael Bergen is a communications director, works with the Parks and Wildlife Department, right? So he is with the Oklahoma Department of Wildlife Conservation specifically. And so here are a couple of primary duties that he serves with for this state agency. And then I'll talk a little bit about his past experience, because it's important to recognize and understand where people come from and what kinds of questions we can ask about their previous experiences as well as present experiences. But currently, he works as a manager of their social media, and we can maybe ask questions that help unpack what is that? What does that mean? What channels? What is being accessed and why? Right? What kind of audience are they after? And so try to be specific with your questions so that we're not all seeming to ask the same generic questions. In addition to that, being a social media handler in many ways, he also has written for the Outdoor Oklahoma magazine, a long-running print magazine that's possibly transitioned into the digital age. And what I mean is it's possibly moved into a digital format. I'm not sure. Let's find out. Let's investigate that. Let's ask our guest speaker to elaborate on that process, and perhaps he can give us inside information about what is it like to transition a long-standing piece of media from one medium to another. Mr. Bergen has also helps organize the Outdoor Oklahoma Expo, and this is a public event that brings together a lot of people, generates some positive information about the state, about opportunities there, and so we can ask questions in that direction. And he's also served as a website developer with the Oklahoma Department of Wildlife Conservation. I know, it's a lot to say. The organizational title. Can it get a little longer, please? In addition, this is just the tip of the iceberg in terms of Michael's experiences. He's worked at multiple what we could identify as small town newspapers, including the Southwestern out in Weatherford, as well as Shawnee's primary newspaper outlet. So he can give us some great, I'm sure, stories or talk about experiences with that traditional journalism focus. Michael Bergen's undergraduate degree is a degree in communication, is a mass communication focus, primarily journalism. And so you could ask about curriculum or experiences there, or what he could, potentially have to say about that experience. And then in between these newspaper roles and working with our one of our local state agencies, finally, Mr. Bergen has served as a content editor as well as an audiobook producer for Oklahoma-based publishing company. So lots to draw from there. I think we get some rich details, learn a lot about professional settings, and I've introduced some broad categories of experience. There are other experiences. He's certainly a versed hunter and fisher, and avant-gardener, to my knowledge, and even tinkered with some local community garden businesses and things like that. So he's got a lot to offer us. Look forward to your rough draft submissions that we will workshop in class before the final submissions we will send on to our guest interviewee. Thank you all.